Hello, Algebra 2. It's particularly for third hour, but hopefully everyone can get some benefit from this. I'm going to go over absolute value equations as we work on more practice with these. First idea is absolute values. The absolute value equations, we're trying to find the value of the variable, usually x, that makes a statement true. So for this first example, my question is, what value of x makes the statement the absolute value of x is equal to 4? What makes it true? Well, the answer can be either 4 or negative 4, because we know the absolute value of 4 is equal to 4, and we know the absolute value of negative 4 is equal to 4. And that's because both 4 and negative 4 are 4 units away from 0 on the number line, right? If I put a little number line on here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, these are the same distance apart. So that's what we're trying to get. They're both 4 units apart. So what makes it challenging on these problems? Well, there are two things to keep in mind. First of all, absolute values, since they are measuring a distance, are always positive. The absolute value itself is always positive. So that means, although the answer to this is x equals 8 or x equals negative 8, that's because the absolute value of negative 8 is 8. This is what can be positive. This, inside the bars, can be anything. It's just whatever I put in there, I will make positive. Therefore, on this problem, what value of x gives me the absolute value of negative 10? The answer is no solution. There is no value of x that will generate a negative 10 or any negative number, because absolute value is always positive. So when we're doing problems, what we're really asking is what's happening inside here. And whatever this generates, if this generates a 12 or a negative 12, it'll give me the answer of 12. And therefore I can set up the equation x minus 10 is equal to 12 and solve this. Remember, we're really just practicing solving anyway. And we find out that x can be 22. But since its absolute value, it's also possible to ask the question, when is x minus 10 equal to negative 12? And notice when I solve this equation, we find the value x is negative 2. Okay, so let's fix that problem up a little bit. So we have these two solutions where we find that x minus 10 equals 12 gives the solution x equals 22, and x minus 10 equals negative 12 gives me the solution x equals negative 2. There are two solutions here. We'll do a similar thing here. Notice everything inside of this bar, the over 10, whatever the result here, it can either be a 2 or a negative 2, and so I can set up the two solutions. So we can put a 2 here, and b equal 10 equals negative 2. Here we multiply both sides by 10, get x equal 20, or multiply both sides by 10. In this problem, we get x equals to negative 20. Notice sometimes it looks like this mirror image of the values, 20 and negative 20, and sometimes the numbers can look very different. We always want to do the math. The last thing, as you prepare to do these problems, want to observe is be careful of where the absolute value bars are. I'm not going to solve this, But this is very different from this. Here, I'm only concerned about this guy, and that therefore we can multiply times 2 on both sides of this equation, so I can get the absolute value of x minus 7 by itself. Here, the entire thing is under, and so the entire expression I can set to positive 3 and negative 3. Anyway, those are some examples. Would you just look over those, and we will see what happens in your practice.